Good afternoon, everyone. Today, Rahul and I will be discussing about the topic dark stores and the risk associated with dark stores. So, let's start. First, we need to understand what a dark store is. So, dark stores are direct to customer business model which can exist in any market, be it grocery, clothing, footwear, etc. So, dark store is a micro fulfillment center which is dedicated solely for the purpose of online orders. It has aisles with shelves and racks to keep the products and groceries and other products. So whenever a customer makes an order, the dark store guy picks the order and they pack it immediately and then they ship it to the customer's address or a nearest location. Now we will see how a dark store started and from where it started. So the term dark stores originated in the year 2009 with the company Tesco in the country UK. So in the year 2009, the demand for Tesco's products started increasing significantly. So in this response, the Tesco responded by creating facilities like dark stores solely for the purpose of online orders, and they termed this dark store because these are closed for shoppers and only online orders are to be fulfilled with these. Then the dark stores concept started increasing in USA, France, Australia, and even India also. Now we will see how it started in India and which factors gave rise to dark stores in India. As we all know that with the onset of COVID-19, the customers were forced to stay indoors, because of which their online retail purchases increased manifold, and the digital payment landscape of India also changed, with more than 33% of the population having used one or more of the 50 plus Indian e-wallets like Paytm, PhonePe, etc. So all these factors gave rise to dark store business model, which which also promised fast delivery and cost effectiveness for the Indian consumers. Now, this slide shows the transition from e-commerce to Q-commerce. As we all know that initially in the beginning, there was 1 week delivery by FedEx. Then later, Amazon came with the promise of same-day delivery for its prime consumers. Then Swiggy came with the promise of 30 minutes delivery. And as we all know, now Zepto and Blinkit assures 10 minutes delivery to its consumers. So this is the difference between traditional e-commerce and Q-commerce. So in case of e-commerce, the product focus is mainly on groceries and non-food like clothing, footwear, groceries, and basically non-food items. Whereas in case of Q-commerce, the product focus is on essentials like daily essentials like fruits, vegetables, etc. In case of Q-commerce, the SKUs, that is keeping units, is around 1500 to 5000. Whereas in case of traditional e-commerce like Amazon and Flipkart, it is around 1 lakh plus SKUs. The delivery speed in case of Q-commerce is 10 to 30 minutes, whereas in case of Q-commerce, it is 1 to 2 days. And in on the basis of localization, the Q-commerce is highly localized, whereas in case of traditional e-commerce, they are not localized and they have a centralized warehouse. Now, these are some of the examples of dark stores in India, that is Swiggy, Instamart, Zepto, Blinkit, Dunzo. And these are their plan of actions and how they are increasing their operations in India. Now, we will see what are the some of the important points we should remember before creating a dark store. So first step is analyzing what people want to buy and what is their buying frequency. After analyzing this, we can get to know that what all products we need to keep in our dark stores and what should be our SKUs. Second point is location engineering. So whenever a company wants to enter a locality, they should analyze the traffic routes followed by checking the real estate prices of that area. This will help them in decreasing their cost and increasing their efficiency. By analyzing the traffic routes, a person or the dark store keeper can know and decrease their lead time of delivering the products. Third step is creating the dark store itself. The dark store should be created in a centralized location so that it has the capacity to serve all the customers within the radius of 3 to 10 kilometers. So this is a value stream mapping of a dark store, which shows how a dark store works. So first of all, a customer places an order on the app, then the details or the order information is received by the nearest dark store from that customer. After that, the dark store staff picks the order within 1 minute. The maximum available time with the dark store staff to pick the product is 1 minute. Then the product is packed and the maximum available time for packing is 30 seconds. After picking and packing, the next step is packing. In this stage, the maximum available time with the dark store staff is 30 seconds. After all these three stages, the product is out for delivery and the maximum available time is 12 to 15 minutes. In our example, we have taken the total time taken for picking, packing, bagging, and delivery is 7 minutes. But the maximum available time is 14 to 7 minutes. So the time taken for the customer from the customer placing an order and the point till the order is reached to the customer is 14 to 17 minutes. It is the maximum available time, but in our example we have taken the total time taken as 7 minutes. This is a video which shows how a dark stores works. So let's have a look at this video. Now we all know how a dark store works. Now Rahul will explain you the international standards and the risk associated with dark store. Over to you, Rahul.
Thank you, Rashi. So let's go on to the next slide. All right. So as Rashi told, what are the external factors while designing a dark store? I would be talking about what are the international standards internally for a dark store have to create more efficiencies. First is the right layout. So as Rashi told that there is only 1 minute time allotted by the standards to collect the items, pick the items, and then go for the delivery. So a layout has to be correctly planned so that the people working in the dark stores are able to quickly pick the items that are being ordered by a person. Second is a well-defined SOP because the series of procedures has to be very well defined. What is the turnaround time? The TAT has to be defined very accurately so that the people know what are the steps that they have to follow to deliver a product. Third is the effective inventory planning because as we can see a lot of stockouts being happening because when you scroll Blinkit or Zepto, you see a lot of stockouts like this is stock out, this is stock out. So if there is a demand of that particular product in a locality, so the companies should have their algorithms and data analytics to understand that okay, so this product has demand in this locality, so we should effectively plan an inventory so that we don't have the excess product. Also, we do not go stock out. Let's go on to the next slide. Next, as I told, data analytics because it is a very so dark stores work on a very skewed demand probability. So in their locality, if they assume because of the data that they have collected that this product has greater demand in this area, so they will have that product listed on that locality. If they believe that this product do not has demand in this area, they will not list that product in that locality. So the role of data analytics, how do you see data and how do you draw conclusions out of it, is very important. Robust software. So dark stores are a complex model, and to ensure better efficiency in terms of cost and operations, dark store need a multiple softwares for effective overall storage of operations, oversight, and management. Next is the ISO standards. So it suggests that they have high quality management system, data security, risk aversion strategies, and standardized business processes. So if a organization is a ISO certified, which means they are following the best practices defined by the International Organization of Standardization. Let's go to the next slide. So now, what are the advantages of a dark store? So dark store enable fast and contact-free shopping. Distribution and delivery are more efficient in a dark store. Dark store have more product and a larger audience. Dark stores improve SKU management. SKU means stock keeping unit. Inventory control is enhanced with dark stores. So as dark stores are able to per, cater to a particular demand of a particular locality. So that's the biggest advantage with the dark store. Let's go to the next slide. So the most important thing in a dark store is how they control the inventory. So according to a report, we have found five methods by which inventory could be controlled in a dark store. First is the internal conducted inventory. Second is the out of stock partnership. Third is endless aisle partnership. Fourth is bilateral partnership. And fifth is the inventory virtual inventory pool. The first one, which is internal connected inventory, wherein the dark store will have their own inventory and they will manage the inventory on their own. Second is the out of stock partnership. So they'll have partnership with brands which will ensure them that they won't go out of stock at any moment of time. So if I go out of stock, I have another warehouse from which the demand would be catered. Third is the endless aisle partnership, wherein an aisle in a dark store will be assigned to a brand wherein they will store their products and I just have to pick and deliver the goods. Fourth is a bilateral partnership. So bilateral partnership with the company, the dark store company, and with the FMCG company, like let's say the company who wants their goods to be listed on the dark store. Fifth is a virtual inventory pool. So let's suppose all the dark stores in Delhi or Gurgaon are connected to a virtual inventory pool where they all can see what are the inventory available at each dark stores. So if I get out of stock of one inventory, I can still cater to the demand by using the another warehouse or another dark store. Let's go to the next slide. So that's what I just uh, explained. Interconnected inventory, out of stock partnership, bilateral partnership, endless aisle partnership, and virtual inventory pool. Let's go to the next slide. So, like, what are the risks associated with the dark stores? First is a concentration risk of being limited or being restricted to a particular area where the dark store is located. So, as we all know, that these dark stores cater to the needs of a particular 3 or 5 kilometer radius. So they actually have a saturation point that they cannot exceed that 3 or 5 kilometer radius ahead of that 3 to 5 kilometer radius. So the concentration in that area is the highest that they can ever deliver. Second is the competition risk. As we all know, we have Swiggy, uh, Zepto, Blinkit. All these are emerging as a competition. So the competition risk is very high as consumers are willing to go to that provider who provides them the goods at the cheapest cost. Third is the lead time, because the fundamental model of dark stores and the fundamental model of quick commerce works upon the 10-minute or 15-minute delivery. So if I can see a competitor providing me goods in 7 minutes versus a competitor providing me the same goods in 15 minutes, of course I'll go with the 7 minutes one. Regulation risk, as gig economy is being recognized across the globe and regulations are continuously coming for the protection of the rights of gig economy workers. So this is something that the quick commerce and these dark stores network have to comply through. Real estate risk. So now this is the one of the very interesting one, that you have to have your dark stores in an area where there is demand for your goods. But that area will come, but the real estate in that area will come with a premium. So you'll have to identify those areas, those real estate where you can have the least amount of rent payments, but also but you can be able to cater to higher demand. Now, commercial property versus residential property. Again, you would like to have a dark stores in a residential area because that's the area from where you'll get the maximum orders. But finding a commercial plot in a residential area is again a very tedious task to do. And the next, the last, the ever that is changing is customer demands. Let's go to the next slide. Now, inventory. Now, let's talk about the very specific inventory risk. Improper inventory management tools and techniques. So, if they are not able to, if they do not have that technology and that tools to effectively manage their inventory, risk of perishable goods. They have apples, they have bananas. So, what if they are not able to forecast the demand correctly, and the apples and bananas that are perishable goods keep get rotted on, and what if they are out of stock? So the risk of perishable goods is one of the most very important risk. Inaccurate forecasting, like that's what I've been talking about all this time. Demand surge risk during peak hours. So what if they are not able to cater to the demand in the peak hours, let's say around 5 6 p.m. in the evening, when everyone wants snacks? So what if they're not able to cater to that demand? Inadequate floor management, because they are only allocated a very limited time, that is 1 to 2 minutes, to pick the items. So if the floor management is not correct, they'll take more time to pick the goods. Refund risk or sales return risk. So this is the risk of for every e-commerce. So when the inventory gets returned, so how do you store that return inventory? So is there any problem with the inventory, or is this a normal sales return? How do you segregate that and segregate the inventory? Let's go to the next. So this is something that we calculated. Uh, like we all think like if Blinkit and Zepto can be profitable or not. So here's the calculation. We have taken the warehouse rate of 40,000 rupees per month, assuming that it's a 1,500 square feet commercial property. Manpower cost 36,000 rupees, one store manager and two pickers. Delivery cost per order is 40 is rupees 40. That monthly salary of 12,000 rupees of a person. We are not considering the material wastage and material transportation. Utilities we are consuming at 20,000 rupees per month. That is 8 rupees per kilowatt, 2 kilowatt consumption per square feet. So the fixed cost comes out to be 96,000 rupees, and variable cost per order comes out to be 40 rupees. So what are they recovering from the customers is delivery fee per order, that is 30 rupees, and grocery margin. Let's say an average order value is of rupees 300, out of which 7% is the margin. We have taken a fairly very lower side of margin, that is 7%. So they'll be earning 21 rupees on a delivery of 300 rupees. So what are the break even? So if they're able to service 8,727 orders in a month, that comes out to be 291 orders per day, they'll be able to break even. And as the what we saw in a video, that they are serving around 200 to 300 orders per day between 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I believe that dark stores are actually running in a profitable scenarios. So that's all from our side. Thank you.